Okay, next up, the icing on the cake, or I should say donut. What I'm trying to achieve now is we want to generate like a random pattern above here, most likely a line that is very like zigzag kind of shape, and then we're going to project this onto our geometry underneath here, and then hopefully we will be left with a nice icing on top, which adds another sweet little detail. So let's start with this line thing that I just mentioned, and yeah, let's put it in here. Let's say match size again, because we want to put this on top. Why do I not see anything? Okay, the line is, let's put it in the Z direction. Okay, that was my mistake. Exactly, by the match size, we select the maximum of the incoming geometry. So our line will always sit on the top. So let's highlight our geometry and say scale to fit as well. So our line will be always as big as this incoming geometry. Cool. Let's push this a little bit more up. Give this bad boy more segments. This we will simply do via resample node. Plug this in here. You see we have significantly more segments to work with. Let's crank this up even more. And now what I would like to do is to break this up into like a very, very random pattern. This can be done with a mountain node again. Just plugging this in, adjusting the size, must be very small. And you see it's going up and down. This is what I don't want. I really wanted to go from left to right. I mean, I could simply just come in here and rotate the entire thing, but we shifted it up already. So the smarter thing to do is to adjust the normals from our line before, that they will just basically look in the X direction. So for this, I will the first time use a little bit of wax. So let's drop down a point wrangle, put it in here, and I name it create normals. And don't be afraid, it's really not complicated. The only thing that I want to type in here is like v at n, so our normal will equal, and then we do those curly brackets, already placed on the end here, and we say 1, 0, 0, and that's it. And if we highlight now our normals, you see they will all look into the X direction. And if we highlight the mountain now, because we say we displace along the N vector, everything follows accordingly. Let's resample this again. And maybe we set it to subdivide curve. Yeah, that's quite cool. Let's give it even more segments. Perfect. And this needs to sit on top of our donut now. So what we are going to do is we say ray, and we will simply ray those kind of points down onto the surface. But currently it will shoot it in the normal direction, and our normal direction is in the X position. So let's just copy over this node so we don't need to rewrite our code. We just change it from the X direction in the negative Y direction. And boom, you can see our lines are going to be projected onto our surface. Perfect, that's exactly what we want. Now we just need to get rid of all this other stuff up here, but that's quite easy because in the ray SOP we can create this kind of point group and it's called ray hit group. And what we can do now with this ray hit group is we can say a poly cut, put it down here. We say the cut points is this hit group. We don't say we want to cut off the hit group, we want to cut off everything but the hit group, and this is done with this little exclamation mark here in the front. And once this is there, everything is gone and we are just left with our little nice little detail lines on top of the donut. Just for a good sake, let's resample this again. Let's sweep it again to have a little bit of thickness to work with. I'm going to sweep, we will take the round tube that is way too fat. Let's lower it, and you also see that it's not really nicely aligned. So in our resample we can put on the tangent U, and what this is basically giving us is an vector that goes from point to point to point to point. And if we set the tangent attribute to our normal, this is going to be understood by the sweep node and is going to paint those lines perfectly. Cool. Let's give it end caps as well with a grid. So we have each and every line, and append a color node to color it accordingly. Maybe some kind of creamy color. I don't know what you usually use. Usually it's sugar, I guess. So let's make it even more a bit whitish. Let's append our null, call it icing, and merge everything together and have a look at the result of our donut with a lot of details. It looks cool. And in our next step, we are going to automate everything in order to generate endless amounts of this donut. So, see you in the next one.